Hey guys, it's Russell back, and on today's video I'm going to be reviewing Chemical Guy's Mr. Pink. This is probably Chemical Guy's, probably one of their top 3 shampoos in popularity. So it's one that I've really wanted to try out. There's a couple things that I want to point out. On the label, it doesn't say that this is pH balanced. If you go on their website, they actually say that this is pH balanced, which is very important. A pH balanced shampoo is going to be gentle on your sealant or your wax. It's not going to clean quite as well as a non-pH balanced, but you're not going to have any chance of it stripping the wax or sealant that you've put on there. Also, the dilution ratio on this is kind of weird. It says 1 capful to a bucket of water. Well, usually on most Chemical Guy's shampoos it'll say 1 ounce to 5 gallons of water or something like that. But if you go on their website, it does say that it's 1 ounce for 2 gallons of water. And it also says on the back of the label on the bottle that you are not to wash the car unless it's cool to the touch. But if you go on the website, it says that since it's pH balanced, that you can wash it in direct sun. So I don't know if I have an older bottle, the label was done, I don't know. But Chemical Guys, if you're watching, please sync the information that you have. I'm going to assume what's on the website is probably the latest information. But anyway, I'm excited to try this. And as always, the first test we're going to be using the MTM style foam submachine gun to check the quality of the foam on the car and how it operates and performs there. And then after that, we're going to do a bucket wash and see the foamage that we can get out of that and how it performs in a hand wash. You know what? Enough talking. I want to get out there and I want to see what Mr. Pink can do. Alright, I've got our normal test bench set up. I've got our MTM submachine gun style foam cannon. I've got 10 ounces of warm water mixed with 1 ounce of Mr. Pink. Mr. Pink is a standard viscosity. I would say it's a little thinner than, I don't know, maybe citrus washing gloss. But it mixes up well. It has a very nice cherry / watermelon scent. So let's see how this combination foams. Well, I'm going to say Mr. Pink is a pretty dense foam. It's got a very small foam cell structure. It seems to be clinging to the car fairly well. Remember, as always, when you're foaming a car, the only reason that you're doing this pre-wash is to remove the unbonded contaminants. It does seem like there are some places that exhibit less tenacious grip than others, but if you'll look at this quarter panel, right, that's pretty darn impressive. Normally, if you've got a car that's really dirty, you're going to see the foam not stick in places normally where there's a lot of dirt. It's been 2 weeks since I've did the last foam test on this car, and we've had several rainstorms. So that's probably a lot of why you won't see foam stick a lot on the front bumpers and the sides. But yeah, I'm going to say this is up there in the, so far probably in the top, but let's come back after about 7 minutes and we'll see what Mr. Pink is doing. Alright, so it's been approximately a little more than 7 minutes, and the vertical surfaces are starting to lose their soap, and the horizontal surfaces are hanging on to the soap. And keep in mind, it's about 50 degrees outside right now. So if it were hotter, 70s or 80s, especially in the sun, this would not be on the car as in greater volume. And as you can see, this is already dry to the touch. So it's kind of strange. But anyway, let's rinse this off and see what kind of dirt and contaminants are removed, and to see if it got rid of our sealant protection. Okay, well, as we can see here, it definitely did not remove our wax and sealant protection that's on the paint. That is a really good thing. The product rinses off very cleanly. as one would expect with a pH balanced soap, it only is going to remove the unbonded contaminants, which is the reason for doing the pre-wash in the first place. I'm having a hard time with this one, guys. You know, Mr. Pink has a lot of hype to it. I'm gonna say that as far as the foam quality, I'm gonna have to put this a little bit better than middle of the pack. I'm not blown away by it, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I wish that the dwell time on it was a little bit better, but really what's gonna make my decision for me is how well it performs in a bucket wash. So let's get that set up next. Alright, please excuse the hawks in the background. I guess they are giving a shout out for Mr. Pink. Alright, so as I explained in the introduction of the video, the dilution ratio says 1 capful to a bucket of water. Well, that's extremely subjective, but on the website it says an ounce to 2 gallons, so this is a little more than 2 gallons, so I'm going to give a hair more than an ounce. And as I said before, this is a mildly viscous pink liquid. It's got a cherry / watermelon scent to it. It's not as thick as some of the others, but we're going to see what the foamage is on this in just a minute. Now, as you agitate the water, it's got some huge bubbles that are already appearing, which would lead one to believe there's a high surfactant product or component to this. So let's get the pressure washer and see what kind of foamage we have. Well, this is interesting. This has a variety of foam bubble sizes. This is really weird. But anyway, there's a lot of mid-sized bubbles. There's still a very strong, the camera can pick this up, there's a very strong interlacing small foam structure. The water feels very slick. And one of the things that Mr. Pink advertises, or Chemical Guys advertises about Mr. Pink, is that it has a high lubricity rate. It almost has a sensation that there's oil in the water. And that's a good thing when you're washing your car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the single bucket method. I'm going to use about 5 or 6 wash mitts, never taking a dirty wash mitt and putting it back in the water. As I showed you on last video, even with the 2 bucket method, grit guards, and rinsing the mitt out after each time that you put the mitt to the car, there's still dirty water that gets in here. I don't want dirty water getting back on the car, because that's how you create scratches and swirl marks. So let me get our mitt set up, and I'm going to go ahead and hand wash this car.
Alright, well, I've completed the bucket wash with our Mr. Pink, and I have to say I'm very impressed. This is a very good soap to do a bucket wash. The car is very clean. There's no residue. It rinsed very cleanly, both in the MTM foam cannon and in the bucket. And as you can see, our wax and sealant protection is still fully intact. I don't show this on the videos, but I always clean the wheels and the tires with the same car soap that I used to test in, and it got it extremely clean. Both the tires, the wheels, inside the barrels. I don't ever use anything harsh on the wheels because this has the same coating, which is the, right now it's the Adams paint sealant, same coating that's on the paint. So if you use all-purpose cleaner, if you use anything harsh, it will strip it right off. So what's the bottom line? Well, the bottom line is, I think this is great in a bucket. I think it's a little better than medium in a foam cannon. Would I buy Mr. Pink again? I think so. I think it's a good wash. I do especially like the slickness that you get from the hand wash in Mr. Pink. I was a little, I don't want to say disappointed, but I think if you use a higher concentration of soap in the foam cannon, it may have a little bit stronger foaming ability due to the surfactants. I don't know. I try to keep all the tests the same so we can compare apples to apples as much as possible, but I like Mr. Pink. So it's definitely, I would say, I'm going to put Mr. Pink on probably my top 4 list. Maybe top 5. Alright guys, well this is Russell, and I've got one more Chemical Guys soap to do. And then there are other manufacturers that I would like to test, but I would like for you guys to choose those. So if you'd like for me to test a car soap, leave a comment in the box below, and I will see you guys in the next video.